So hi, welcome to Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with
Nick from Equipment.
And there's some questions to say about their upcoming album, All to Count. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to the announcement so far?
It's been pretty great, pretty wild. It's always, we had no idea what was going to happen when announcing things, especially because we've had a really busy year. I was worried that people would have like equipment fatigue by now. Like we did, a bunch of tours. I did an EP. We'd done a collab with a band called The Merrier, and like we were just like, okay, is our algorithm just gonna like be like, okay, new album? It'll be like 20 people are like sick. But no, it's been great. It's been very, I don't know, like surreal, kind of just like being in, kind of on sites we've never been on before and seeing people like lifetime like inspirations talk about us. So yeah, I mean, can't complain. And I get that imposter syndrome sometime where it's like, oh, like people are, losing interest already, but it's like the album's not even out yet.
Yeah.
So I'm just excited for it to be out and for me to be able to like say it's out. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Well,
Absolutely.
It comes out this Friday. And from the outside looking in, it looks like a lot of people are excited. A lot of people are talking about your band right now, which is very exciting because like we were talking about before this. I mean, the last time we spoke was 3 years ago, and I feel like Equipment has obviously only gotten bigger since then.
Absolutely.
But the album rocks.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. I wasn't sure if y'all had heard the full thingy.
We did.
But no, that's really cool.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
Yeah. So the cover art is kind of, I'm pulling it up now because I don't remember what it looks like. No, I'm just kidding. The cover art it's kind of like an amalgamation of, it really emphasizes the kind of like yeah, reality is kind of ugly. Like, sometimes you gotta glam up, sometimes you gotta like take meds to just like get through the day or like do whatever you need to do. The meds are kind of like a heavy-handed symbolism, but like it also heavily features a really fun, almost like supernatural cartoon cat. And that kind of like, it's like the duality of like the like harsh optimism and making, you have to kind of make your own beauty in life sometimes, and admire the beauty that is there, through all of the kind of like stress and like hardship that life throws at you. So it's kind of just, the album is mainly about staying optimistic, but the title also kind of brings in the whole idea of like how many different kinds of aspects and facets of your personality you can have. Like everyone has many alt accounts. Like I think I've been telling people that like in the past I've been referred to as, I don't know, like a jewelry store employee or a steel mill worker or a college student or blah blah blah's boyfriend, or like like you can have so many titles throughout your life and like play into all of those different aspects, and just kind of the album emphasizes like owning all of those things. And like I think the most prominent quote unquote alt account on the album is the old YouTube channels that I had as a kid that I sample throughout the album. It's just kind of weird that not only have I been that person, but there have been like two versions of me online throughout my life. Like there was the time when I was like a preteen really going at the YouTube thing, and now I'm really going at the music thing. And thankfully my real last name is kind of hidden, so people don't really find the YouTube thing that often, which is great. I'm being very selective about what percentage of that like gets out, but they're still public. The video, if someone finds them, I'm not going to shame them for it, but I don't want to take them down. I think it's really important that they're still up.
Absolutely.
All the more power to you, because I tried the YouTube thing too when I was a preteen, and I made sure to wipe them fucking things off the internet. I don't want anybody finding them.
Oh yeah, if I had like a bad day as like a 16-year-old, I could have easily just been like, delete. This is so stupid. But for whatever,
don't continue. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I think the only reason I didn't back then was because they had and still have like a lot of those videos have like a ton of views, like more than Equipment has plays. So yeah, I think I can't delete it.
Fair enough.
My God. Yeah, I'm the one who deleted it. I wish I unprivated like privated all of my old videos, because I did two versions of the YouTube thing. I did Minecraft gaming, and then I did cooking shit. And I fucking deleted all of them when I was having a bad day at like 12, and I regret it so bad. So just you keeping it up is just already a fucking power move.
That's where all your
keep
banger
that shit up.
cooking videos went.
Yeah, man, all of them are fucking gone. Makes me
Do you
so
think they were
sad.
helpful? Do you think I'd be able to learn from one of those videos?
Oh my God, yeah, dude, the editing was fucking great. My dad edited it. I had like 3 different cameras. It was like a full-on cooking show, but
Damn.
I just got embarrassed one day because my friends made fun of it, and I just wiped it off the face of the earth.
I feel that.
Yeah,
It's a bummer. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine.
So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for the album?
Yeah, it was so like any equipment album, it kind of is. It's like a long process of me just like living and then writing down like really random things, like ideas that'll come to my head. Like, for example, just the idea of kind of like I probably walked around one day and like thought of the minnow metaphor where it's like, minnow implies like young, but also implies that they drink a lot because they're in water. Like, I don't know, like little stuff like that. I will write in my notes app and eventually they'll all come together. Maybe not in the order or like in the combination I thought they would, but a lot of my notes will start to fit together because I mean, it's all from the same brain. So, and sometimes in my head that specific lyrics will be born with like a music idea in mind, like a riff or like a melody. Other times it's just words, other times it's just music. And then eventually I get to a point where I'm like ready to write or like demo, and I like sit down, I put it all together, I make it like an actual song instead of just like little snippets. And during the actual like songwriting part of this, I was like, sorry, I just dropped something.
You're good.
We're good. During the actual songwriting part of this, I was like trying a new med and it was giving me like really weird insomnia. And I don't know if that was like self-induced as like a not like placebo response, but like I don't know, like I had never heard of anyone getting insomnia from this med. But it was keeping me up, and also it was kind of it may have just been the fact that I was in a really unsatisfied part of my life at the time, and it was almost like maybe giving me clarity, and like the clarity was leading me to like not be able to sleep because I was like kind of going through it. But anyway, I would get up, I would demo at like 2 a.m. in the living room, and then the band would wake up to like hey, I wrote literally a complete song, and like this like it's like the most insane thing equipment's ever written probably. And they were like, huh. So that was like a really kind of rapid fire month of me like I felt like I needed to hammer out all these ideas, like almost like I don't know, the album's pretty personal. As much as we've been spinning it is a very like fun romp. It's like it's probably some of my darkest thoughts put behind some of our happiest sounding music. But yeah, so it almost felt like yeah, I was like extracting data from my brain, just like getting it out there. And honestly, it's kind of a blur at this point. It just happened, and like one day we woke up and we just had an album. So
Damn.
And reaching in and like writing, the darkest music and about the darkest thoughts from your brain. Is there any sort of like anxiety putting out that super personal music?
It's hard because equipment and releasing music in general has been my entire adult life, and I'm 26 now. Like I started when I was like 17, and so it's almost like any dark thought I have, I'm like way past being too anxious to share it, I guess. I don't know. And it's not like that's like a positive or negative thing. Like if someone isn't able to share some of these things, I don't know. Like I think I find a happy medium between like really, really personal and like kind of universal feelings that a lot of people have. Like, for example, Hollister Henley's is kind of just like a song about, I don't know, just the insecurities, like the imposter syndrome of being an adult, quote unquote adult, and just still feeling like you can't escape like this feeling of like, I don't know, like insecurity that you've had your entire life. So one of the lines is I say like, I have a tendency to treat everyone like they're older than me, even though at this point, like I'll meet someone in DIY or at a show and they'll be like 20 and I'll be like starstruck. Like, oh my God, your music's so good. And I don't know, like but it's not always a good trait to have. Like I really was working through a lot of like imposter syndrome at the time. So
Mhm.
while that was like a dark thought for me, like I was able to translate it into like, I mean, I think a lot of people get that way. So I try to find the bridge between what's going on up here and everyone else.
I gotcha.
Absolutely. Makes sense. So, what song off this album took the longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
Longest to write. So I might list two examples because some of these songs started as an old song, and like were reworked for the album. So technically we're the longest to write because I wrote a version of it. And like, anyway, so that song would be
Yeah.
Username. Username actually came from the song called Far Gone that I wrote with a buddy, and we were doing what was called an 8 and 8 in like January of 2017, where we were trying to write 8 songs and record them in 8 hours.
Damn.
So
Fuck.
it was
Okay.
oh yeah, no, so it was super fun. It was he was still living at his parents' house. He actually just got married last weekend.
Awesome.
And I was in his
Congratulations.
wedding.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh yeah.
But we were in his parents' basement. It was like kind of holiday-ish season / like sales after holiday season. So I got like some like holiday charcuterie and brought it
Hell
over.
yeah.
And we just cranked out as many songs as we could. It ended up being like a 6 or 7 song thing in like the span of 12 hours or something. I don't know. We
Yeah.
definitely bent the rules, but Far Gone was probably my favorite from the bunch and also the most like equipment-y. So eventually that didn't end up coming out just because he got really busy with school and like was gonna mix it, but it kind of, you know, it's no big deal. We still have the files. But the chorus of Far Gone was used as a cameo or like kind of like an Easter egg at the end of one of our old songs called Walk in the Door. But then I was like, you know, I want to revisit that chorus, like the I got lost and I'm sorry. Like the whole like vibe of the song I really liked and wished it was like more kind of expanded. So I took some more recent anecdotes, like changed the lyrics, just added a lot more instrumentation, and it's definitely like our craziest song instrumentally, I would say. Like the riff is like really hard for me to play, and also like the time signatures change, and there's synthesizer, there's strings. So Username took probably both the longest to write in terms of like start date and also like how much time it took like planning the kind of crazy instrumental.
Yeah.
Second answer, I'll be quicker about this one. Oh, in that same batch, I wrote the general instrumental of Bad Bets in high school too, and I let it sit for like 10 years.
Oh shit.
God damn.
But okay, so the actual song, it took me the longest from like starting it newer, like starting it more recently and finishing it more recently. I could not nail the closer down. I wrote like 3 different passes of the lyrics. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to say. I'm like so bad with like sometimes like writing like the ending of stuff. And I knew this was the ending of what I think is our best album. So it was like the pressure's on.
Yeah.
So what we landed on was it's like a vague kind of, I don't know, I don't want to spoil it. When is this coming out?
After the record.
Oh, sweet. Okay, we're good.
Okay.
The ending is like a kind of this optimistic, kind of vague track with like a ton of one of my favorite things that I've ever seen a band say is the band called Crying. Have you guys ever listened to them?
They sound very familiar to me.
They haven't released an album since 2016, but it's one of my favorite albums. They're on Run for Cover. Kind of like almost like synth prog, but like it sounds emo, but they're not emo. They're like if they came out today, they would be like, oh yeah, fifth wave emo, but like it's not really.
Okay.
But one of my favorite things they said was you should make music that's just like fun, and all their music is fun. It's like very like I don't know, attention grabbing and like never a dull moment. So we tried to jam pack as much crazy stuff into the last song as possible. Like there's like a giant synth solo, there's like a very fast paced kind of almost like MCR chorus. Anyway, so but that one took a long time to get where it is. Like I was just like I was like, this is so much worse than every other song on the album until we recorded it. And even then I wasn't positive about it. But now sitting on it, I'm like, okay, this is a good song.
All right.
Okay. Damn.
And your favorite?
I might have to say Minnow or Hollister Henley's or Bad Bets.
All right.
You named multiple songs.
Sounds good.
It changes every day.
It's all good.
Yeah.
So how'd the track list for the album come about? Did you guys write the opener to be the opener, closer to be a closer? Did you shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
I think I knew I wanted Hot Young Doctors to be the opener, but that was one of the oldest songs for the bunch in terms of like complete songs. It was originally going to be on a split, and so was Lofo, and so was Minnow. A lot of our songs were almost on splits,
Yeah.
and then they never are. We've never done a split.
But you're ready. You're ready if you ever need to.
Yes. So a lot of it, I wasn't actually sure. It was kind of just like sometimes we'll write an album or write an EP and we know what the order was going to be. But this one, I don't think I was sure until we were like at least partway through recording or partway through demoing at least. But the closer we wrote as a closer. I knew that it was like it had to be the final note, because the second to last song, we had toyed with the idea of just making it 8 tracks and stopping after the last song. But the last song is kind of like not really indicative of the album. It's like a slower breakup song. Like I was like, this isn't really what the album's about, and I don't want it to end on this note.
Mm-hmm.
So closer was definitely written as like a grand finale kind of thing.
I gotcha.
Makes sense. So would you be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you're creating this record? You kind of went into it a little bit earlier, but if you want, you could go a bit more in depth.
Oh, sure.
Up to you.
I think I just was really having a weird time. Like I guess growing pains, I guess. And I was kind of following this traditional life path that, I mean, I won't go in too much into detail, but just like in terms of like the stereotypical, like, oh yeah, you get your degree, you get a job, you get married, like you spend time with family, you live comfortably, you have savings, I don't know. And I saw this clear split in the path where it's like, if I start going this way, equipment's going to start like not being a thing.
Yeah.
And I realized I liked kind of haphazard equipment lifestyle, just like throwing everything I have in the music. Because before that I was like, yeah, music's a thing I do. Like I can make time for touring on the side of work. I can, like it's like a thing I do, but I'll be fine if I don't make a huge thing. But then a switch flipped a little bit before this album came out where I was like, no, I think I need to like make this my life. So this album is kind of exactly the pinpoint. You can see me, like I was still in that headspace when writing it, and like was kind of peeling my way around or out of it.
Yeah.
You could kind of just like hear how confused and like frustrated I was. And it sounds like I'm talking about like if I had written this album a year ago, it'd be weird that I'd be talking about myself this way, but it's been written out for over 2 years now, and just like how much has happened since then. I didn't realize how much of a turning point this album was when I wrote it, and I think a lot of what I said on it still holds true for like it still makes sense. I wasn't just like rambling. But yeah, I would say that this album is just like fully representative of my shift in like me wanting to completely do music, and now that's pretty much all I do.
I love that. Hell yeah. So this question should be super, super quick off the top of your head. I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words, no more, no less.
Chaotic, catchy, emotional.
There
LOL.
Perfect.
Oh, I love it.
Hell yeah. So in the same vein, but not as much pressure, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want this album to invoke in your listeners?
I don't want them to walk away with it like super bummed out. I know like sometimes that's the vibe, sometimes that's where you are.
Yeah.
And if people need to use the sadder songs on the album to get through something, I fully respect that. And you do what you need to do, right? But if someone comes in with like, let's say someone's going in with no emotions, I don't want them to walk away like, wow, that kid's sad. I want them to be like, you know what, life does kind of suck, but also it doesn't have to all the time. Like you can make the best of any situation.
Absolutely. So can you talk about any particularly challenging or standout moments from the creation of this album, positive or negative?
I think we get pretty bold on this album in terms of like, not like wow, what a profound creative statement, but the fact that the first title is Hot Young Doctors, like I think we kind of went all out on like the leaving inhibitions kind of thing.
Mhm.
Like the second title is like log out, fuck off, except we didn't spell it out. And then just like some of the things I say on the album too, and some like the raw like I don't know, like it's kind of a little self-revealing on some of these songs. Like the second to last song, Your Clothes Without You in Them, it's like a very, very detailed song about what it's like to like run into an ex in public that you kind of like ended on like weird vague terms with. And it's like not just like about that, but it's like dissecting like every emotion that goes into it. And that feels like a little over personal, and I hope that you know, I hope it goes over well because it is kind of personal. But in terms of like difficulty instrumental wise, we definitely pushed Jake really hard on drums. He really killed it on this record. But the drum, like if you go back to like early equipment, the drums are kind of like the whole time. And this is like every single second is like a crazy drum part. And I'm so proud of him because he wasn't even a drummer. He didn't define himself as a drummer until he joined this band, and now he's like killing it. The last track especially is pretty tough on drums. And then I learned how to tap on guitar for this album. That's another thing, I guess. Like there's no equipment tapping, except our last EP that we did this year, but we actually recorded that after we recorded this album, so it doesn't count. But yeah, the tapping riffs on this, I'm actually like in the process of practicing for our tour, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this live, but I guess I gotta.
Exactly, you'll figure it out. You have to.
Yeah. I'll just like run it over the speakers.
Exactly. Why not?
Play off my phone.
So for the last couple questions, we're actually gonna shift away from music, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Awesome. So if you could be one animal for the rest of your life, which animal would you be and why?
You can edit this out if you need to, but I was going to make a joke and say, got some furry representation in here. But my girlfriend and I talk about this kind of consistently. Either like a fox or a cat.
Oh,
they both seem very like naturally beautiful. One is kind of, I mean, foxes are more wild. They're cool. Cats are like, I mean, I was just thinking like the other day, I know people joke about this sometimes, but I would not be that surprised if cats were revealed to be like the god, like the deity, just like cats in general, because like they have built an entire society around people taking care of them. They're not even nice to most of their owners. But I love cats. So cat or fox.
All right.
Cat or fox, hell yeah.
So if you could have lunch with any celebrity or artist, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
You know, I didn't realize till recently how like funny Kurt Cobain was.
Kurt.
And I wouldn't want to like pick his brain on like music. I think I would just want to like fuck around. I was never a huge, like I like Nirvana and like their music, but I never really like dove deep into like the whole, I know there's like a lot of drama surrounding his death and like his life too. Just I think he would be a big chiller. I did not expect that. I don't think I realized how funny it was till I watched some more recent interviews.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Seemed pretty chill, yeah. So for this last question, boom, you're on a deserted island. You could bring one person, one movie, and one album. Who and what are you bringing?
Oh God. I'm so bad with watching things more than once in like a 2-year span too.
2 years? Jesus, that's a fucking brick.
Sometimes I'm like, okay, I just watched that. And like, it was literally like over a year ago.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start with person. That might be easier. It's cheating if I say my partner.
No, that's usually the main answer we get.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like if your partner is watching and you don't say your partner, you might get in trouble. So
yeah.
True. I'll be in the doghouse.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll say my partner. And that changes things because then I could play or we could find music that we both like. And probably like a fun, like long electronic album. Like I feel like I don't get sick of electronic music, kind of like the repetition as much as I do like I don't know. Maybe I would bring like one of my favorite like rap albums because I'm always like I don't listen to this enough to like learn all the lyrics. I think if I had a task of learning every lyric to a rap album, like don't even give me the lyric sheet. I want to do it naturally because I'm so bad at learning lyrics. Like I feel like I know some people that can listen to music and like just know list lyrics, and I'm like, sorry, I
Yeah.
can't unless it's like really catchy. Anyway, getting away from the question. Um, movie. Oh, I didn't pick an album. Probably an Outcast album, early Outcast. I can't decide
Damn
right
right.
now.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, Outcast,
Okay.
my girlfriend.
Okay.
Probably some really stupid ass movie like uh oh, Chicken Run.
Damn, Chicken Run?
It's
Okay.
because one time a running bit was like if you could never watch movies again unless you watched Chicken Run every single day, like paid attention to it,
Mhm.
would you do it? So I guess would you guys do that? You can't go to sleep unless you watch Chicken Run once a day, or you can never watch a movie again.
Once a day, do I have to like sit down and
You have to like
watch it?
watch it. Yeah,
It's like an hour and a half, right?
probably.
Yeah, I could kill that, crush that every day. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't
365
watch
times a year.
movies, so
You would have to unless you don't want to sleep.
I'm good.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just like if you would never,
I thought
you
the
lose
que-
the privilege of watching movies unless you watch Chicken Run.
yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought it was
that
like you
was the
can't do
question.
anything.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, I
'Cause-
I don't know where I got that then.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. It's a
I thought it was
stupid
like
question.
fucking life or death. I thought it was like Chicken Run or you're fucking gone, man. Okay. Good to
Yeah.
know. Whew.
There we
Yeah, I
go.
do love movies though, so I would
Still
still
would
have to
watch
watch
Chicken
that. I would
Run.
still have to watch that.
You're gonna have to move some
Um,
things around on your daily schedule.
Unfortunately, for Chicken Run, I feel like it's worth it.
Yeah. So as Glory said, that's all the questions you have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Yeah. So kind of leading up to this album, we were very confused on how we wanted to release it, like record label wise. Because we're so used to like the shipping and just like general promotion too, that like we're like, I don't know if we like need to work with a small label, like no offense to them, but like I like doing all the stuff that they do. So we started our own label, and since then, so it's called Kleptophase. Here is I have a sticker right here. So that's our label.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we have been releasing a lot of sick music on there this past year. A lot of it from Toledo, which we're from, and then we helped make vinyl for the band Summer Brews.
Nice.
And I'm really stoked for that to come in. And yeah, if you want to support our label, find some new music that we really like. Yeah, Kleptophase on all social medias, just at Kleptophase, no underscores or anything like that. So, but yeah, that's what we've been doing besides equipment. So it's my plug.
Oh yeah.
All
All
right.
right. Well, thank you for sound. It's been Nick from Equipment, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.